here. Okay, welcome everybody to the Town of Orangetown Town Board meeting of July 22nd, 2025. And we will start with a roll call.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Here.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Here.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, some quick announcements. Senator Weber is sponsoring a blood drive at Town Hall on Monday, July 28th from 12 to 5. It's actually a competition with the other towns. Clarkstown won last year, so hopefully we can dethrone them, and if people want to come out and help, is a shortage, that would be great. So again, that's July 28th from 12 to 5 right here. We just want to announce, I think we may have already, that we're having a splash down in Orangetown. It's going to be adult night at the splash pad. It's September 5th, so we have some notice, and it's basically to raise funds for the benefit the penguin plunge. So it's going to be suggested donation of $10 per person. Of course, more is always welcome. And there's information on our website at orangetown.com. And now we will move on to the presentations. And we have the first presentation is the one that you see up on the screen. And I don't know if you gentlemen who wants to come up and take the lead on this, but this is, again, this is the repurposing of office space at 2 Blue Hill Plaza. So for those who don't know the difference between 1 and 2, it's the short building. And the number 1 would remain office space. So.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Tim Jones. I'm the CEO of Robert Martin Company. I'm joined here tonight by my partners Greg Berger and Jeremy Frank from Robert Martin, as well as Paul Chan from Glorious Sun. Glorious Sun's the current owner of Blue Hill. We're going to talk, for those of you who are not familiar with Robert Martin Company, we're a 70-year-old development company based in Westchester County, New York. We always say that we've done over 20 million square feet of developments in that 70 years. My guess is it's probably in excess of 30 million square feet of all types of different type of property. We started with single-family homes. We've done multifamily, industrial, office, retail. Today we focus primarily on industrial space and on multifamily residential, and in the New York suburban area, also in the Carolinas and up into Connecticut, and some in Florida. We've known Glorious Sun for, I think, 30 years of that 70 years. We did a couple of things together, including we bought Blue Hill together in 1996. I remember it. We closed the day before my youngest daughter's birthday, actually the day she was born. And we no longer were partners with Glorious Sun today. In the office space, we decided to exit the office business a number of years ago. Glorious Sun stayed in. But we've been talking, and tonight we're going to talk about a new chapter for Blue Hill Plaza. That's what I'd like to discuss. For those of you who are not familiar with Blue Hill Plaza today is about between 1,100,000 and 1,200,000 square feet of office space on a 90-acre complex. There are also about 2,900 cars of parking. The building was designed by Skidmore, Owens and Merrill. Some people call them SOM. One of the really top architects in the history of the United States. They designed many very well-known buildings, including the Sears Tower in Chicago, the John Hancock Building in Boston. They designed the tallest building in the world, somewhere in the Middle East, and they designed Blue Hill. And we think Blue Hill's the architecture of Blue Hill is specific to that period. It's a 60-year-old buildings, but we think they're really remarkable buildings. In fact, one day they I don't think they're quite old enough yet. They may qualify for designation as historical buildings. What we're going to talk about today is taking one of the 2 towers, and if you look up on the map here, and I've got a cursor, you'll have to excuse me because I'm definitely audio-visually challenged. But this is Tower 2. So each of the towers is about the same size. This tower is over 20 stories tall, is the one that you see when you drive up. We were noticing as we drove up tonight, you know, you don't see this from Veterans Highway, or you don't see the lower building from Veterans Highway, but you see this one. So this building is pretty well occupied, the tower building. Blue Hill 2, which is the subject of our conversation tonight, is 8 stories tall. 1 story is partially below grade, the ground floor, and then 7 stories above that. Again, between 550 and 600,000 square feet. What we're going to talk about today is converting that building into apartments, into a luxury apartment complex, amenity-rich lifestyle complex. Right here, we've got, on this site plan, we show the area that we would designate as the apartment complex property. This includes about 500 cars of parking in addition to the building itself. You can't really see very well from this site plan we intended for this. We'll include external outside amenities, including an outdoor swimming pool right here. There'll be some cabana shelter along here. And because the scale of this building is so big, these don't look very large, but they're actually quite large. A barbecue area, and then up in this corner, we have pickleball courts. So people tend to want pickleball courts today, but we move them away from the building so that to avoid the noise. Let me just click to my next slide. This is the southern elevation of the building, and this actually shows the building as we would renovate it. There's today a porte cochere or canopy here in the front, which we'd remove and replace with a flat canopy. This also, you can't see as easily from this building, but we really wanted to leave the architecture as it is, because we do think it's important architecture, although we would paint a red section here. Again, because of the scale of the building, this doesn't look very large, but this is, hundreds of feet of painting here. Other things on the exterior here that we'd point out, we would replace all of the windows. This would not only improve the building from an energy efficiency standpoint, but we would also install some operable windows, since this would now be apartments. Let me go to the next slide. This slide, and I think it's hard to read. I know I can't read it, but of course I can't see a golf ball when I drive 150 yards. So this shows the mix of the apartments. This is a typical floor plate, and there are really 6 typical floor plates. On the next slide, I'll show you the first floor, and then I'll show you the lower floor, which are atypical. But in the building, we have studios. Here, let me just. I think we have 84 studios. I think 112 one-bedrooms and 175 two-bedrooms, which are both 2-bedroom, 2-bath, as well as 2-bedroom, 2-bath with den. All of our units are larger than typical units. The studios vary from 663 square feet up to, I think, almost 750 square feet. Typical studio on the market today would be closer to 550 to 600 square feet. Our one-bedrooms are around 900 square feet, and again, one-bedrooms in the market today would typically be in the 750 to 800 square foot size. Our two-bedrooms are 1,100 square feet to almost 1,300 square feet. Again, very large for two-bedrooms, which would vary between 900 and say 1,100 would be a very large two-bedroom today. And then our two-bedrooms, two-bedroom, two-bath with den are 1,340 square feet up to 1,440 square feet. So very sizable units. The building obviously was not designed for apartments, and so that's one of the challenges is in doing the layouts, and one of the reasons the apartments are very large. There's much more depth to the building going this way than would be designed into a building that you built from scratch. So these units are deep. And again, actually even these hallways are very, very wide. Normal hallways in an apartment building are about 5 feet wide. These will be over 20 feet wide. So the ceiling heights are also higher than normal. On the typical floor, I think they're over 11 feet. And on the top floor, they're even taller than that. So the building will have a loft, very spacious feeling to it. And we think we think it will be unique in the market, and we think it'll be very appealing to many renters. This is the ground floor, the first floor of the building. As you can see, we will have apartments on the first floor. Here's the swimming pool, which you can see will be on the first floor. This is a concierge area. We'll have 24-hour security in the building. And because of the size of the building, overall size of the building, all the spaces, once again, package room. Package room is a big deal today in apartment buildings because everybody's getting deliveries all the time. We're able to do very generous back of the house for things like that. And then I'll show you the last slide we have here is what I would call our pièce de résistance, which is, this is the lower level of the property. And this is what will make this project even more unusual, and again, it's already unique than from any of its neighbors. This is a 70,000 plus floor, and so what we've shown here in pink will be the fitness center. The fitness center on this slide, and this design may vary somewhat as we get into the building and understand exactly what some of the limitations are with plumbing and other construction issues. But this is roughly what we'll probably reasonably close to what we'll build, and then the amenities are what we intend to build. But the fitness center includes a very large club, workout area. These are 2 big exercise rooms, 1,200 square feet apiece, which is very sizable. You can have 20 plus students in each of those. This is a lap pool, which we think, again, will be a big draw, and locker rooms. Our intent for the fitness center is that people who are on Blue Hill campus, not just the people in this building, will be able to utilize this. So people from the office building, there's a separate entrance. And then this yellow area is, I guess what I'd call the amenity area, to be distinguished from the fitness center area. And in the amenity area, we have every amenity we could think of. We have a golf simulator, we have a billiard room, we have multiple lounge, kitchen areas, we have a theater, we have 3 podcast rooms. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a podcast room. We have co-working areas. We have what we call a maker's room or an art room. We have a music room. We have a pet area. And we actually have extra space here that we're figuring out what to do with. There will be some storage for people in the building too. We think this will be such a draw. For example, this 23,000-foot fitness facility is bigger than a lot of Planet Fitnesses, which have 6,000 to 7,000 members. And so this is going to be a really, really unusually nice amenity area, and we think will be a big draw for the building. So that's really that's what we have planned. I think it's obviously we'll have to spend a lot of time and effort to get it all done, but we're really excited about it. And as we were driving up to the property tonight, the approach to that property, going up Veterans Highway is remarkable. It's so beautiful, and we think this will be just a great compliment for the area. That's our presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, so my first question is, what is a pet zone?
Pardon me?
A pet zone.
I still didn't hear you. What?
A pet zone. What is a pet? What happens in a pet zone?
Well, it's an indoor pet area.
Okay.
So you can, take care of your pet and wash your pet. It's a big pet area.
It's a big thing now. Okay.
Particularly in inclement weather.
So the thought is rentals or sale?
Rentals.
So high-end rentals.
Yeah, the market will tell us what the rents are, but yeah, we'll need to get pretty good rents to be able to pay for all this. It's an expensive building.
Have you guys discussed price points yet, or is that too far?
Have we got
down the
what,
line?
prices?
Price points for,
No, No.
Anybody? Anybody?
And to be clear, this is just open for the public, not like senior housing, just you're targeting
No,
just anybody?
no, it would be just market rate housing. Although we'd expect we'd expect a lot of empty nesters.
And the connection to the other building would obviously remain open, I'm guessing. Right?
What?
To the other building, to Building 1, it would still, there's a hallway right now, that would,
Yeah, so the building, if I went back here, so yeah, the buildings are actually connected.
Okay.
There's what we call the concourse level underneath this, this plaza that connects the building. And we would intend that the tenants in Building 1 would be able to use the fitness center, be able to join the fitness center.
okay. Jerry, anybody? Question?
Yeah, that's fine.
No?
I'm good.
Okay. Okay,
All right?
okay. We
Thank you,
appreciate-
thank you very much.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have another presentation. We have PFK O'Connor Davies going to present results of our annual comprehensive financial report.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas DeSantis. I'm a partner with the firm of PKF O'Connor Davies. And with me this evening is Rob Danielle, the partner in charge of the audit that was conducted for the town of Orangetown. The town continues to experience good financial results from its budgetary operations. And this evening, we're going to present to you on a PowerPoint some of the important facts that the town board, I'm sure, would be interested in. One of the other things that I just wanted to mention, and you can see on the first slide in the right-hand side, that the town continues to get the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. In the state of New York, probably only 30 or 40 municipalities are awarded this achievement from the Government Finance Officers of Association, a national organization headquartered in Chicago. So this is quite impressive for the town itself and the town board, as well as your financial team and your town controller. Rob?
Thank you, Nick. So I'm just going to walk you through some of the town's major funds.
You just speak into the microphone.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. All right, so on slide 6 here, the town operates a general fund. You can see there are 4 columns there. The original budget, the first column is what the town board approved back in the winter of 2023. Again, from a high level, a little, just under $15.1 million in revenues, $16.7 million in expenses, representing a shortfall, if you will, of $1.6 million. That is what the town used of its own resources to balance the budget and thus provide a form of property tax relief. Again, $1.6 million. Middle column is your final budget during the year. You accept more revenues or other revenues you didn't anticipate, so the budget is amended. You can see that revenues went up about $1 million, expenses went up $1 million, but everything stayed relatively the same as far as what the town was going to use. Third column is what actually happened, your actual results. You can see your revenues came in pretty much of what you budgeted, actually a little surplus of $230,000. And you had expenditure savings of over $740,000. You take your revenues, subtract your expenses, and you come down to, you did have expenditures that exceeded your revenues. However, again, you anticipated using $1.6 million. Not only did you not have to utilize the entire $1.6 million, you did have a little loss, if you will, but all the way to the right there, you can see you had a budgetary surplus of almost $1 million. So you take your opening fund balance of the $14 million and subtract the minor loss there of $636,000, and and you end the year at $13.5 million. We'll talk about the components in a minute. There's a lot of information. I'm going to go through some of these, but there's details in there of how you achieved your savings on the revenue side and the expenditure side. I'm just going to skip over. I mentioned that you ended the year with a fund balance of $13.5 million. If we focus on the 2024 column, some of that money is set aside for what we call advances in the past, the general fund advance funds for the golf courses. The golf courses are paying them back. You can see that that number has gone down about $500,000 from last year. There is an agreement to pay a minimum of $200,000, but because the golf courses did very well, they actually paid $500,000 back to the general fund in 2024. The other important couple of numbers, if you go to the middle of the page, you can see that what we entitle subsequent years expenditures. That's what the town board is utilizing to balance the current budget year in, the 2025 budget. And overall, your unassigned fund balance is up about $277,000, relatively healthy, very healthy fund balance compared to your 2025 adopted budget. You're well over 50%. So that gives you means to utilize that money for capital work rather than borrowing and things like that. I'm going to jump over. The town also operates what they call a town outside villages fund for the police and for what we call other. The police fund did very well. You can see all the way to the right there. You had revenues that exceeded the budget by $2.5 million. You had great sales tax come in. You had police fees. The police fees saw a slight decline, but the sales tax did achieve more than the budgeted amount. And the town also received a federal grant, what they entitled Equitable Sharing Program, that's used for police purposes. That money hasn't been spent, but contributed to the surplus. Expenditures, again, had savings across the board. So the police town outside villages fund generated a surplus, if you will, of $2.5 million. They were able to add that to the opening fund balance of $5 million and ended the year at $7.5 million. There's also what they call a town outside villages others, which are relatively building permits. You can see there that all the way to the right, your building permits, safety inspection fees came in at $1.2 million better than you anticipated. That also contributed to the surplus. And again, at the bottom there, you can see you had expenditure savings in all categories. So the town outside villages other fund generated a surplus of $1.1 million and now has a fund balance of over $7 million. Again, same approach here. If we focus on the 2024 column, you can see that there's money set aside, what we call non-spendable. That just means that you paid some insurance bills in 24 that apply to 25. That'll be absorbed in 2025. That equitable sharing money is restricted for law enforcement purposes, so now that amount is $2.1 million. The TOV fund, as we call it, you are utilizing $2.2 million to balance the current budget you're in, 2025. And there's almost $8.8 million of fund balance that's free and clear to be used for other purposes. Future budgets. Very quickly, you do operate other funds. You have a sewer fund that appears to be financially stable. You were able to add to that fund balance too, having a fund balance of $4.4 million at the end of the year. A highway fund also appears to be financially stable. You were able to add to that fund balance as well, a little over $2 million. You have monies in a debt service fund that can be used to pay down debt in future budgets, $1.4 million. You have an active capital projects. The town did borrow last year. It actually borrowed in 2024. Obviously, all that money's not spent, so there's $10 million left over to continue those capital projects. And you have a variety of special districts, your water, your fire protection, South Orangetown Ambulance, South Nyack now, legacy funds, and those have about $3.5 million of fund balance. You do operate Blue Hill Golf Course as well as Broad Acres. I just wanted to show you that here that Blue Hill did very well this year, generating an income, if you will, of $400,000, slightly down from last year. And I understand the weather's been bad this year, so we hope that turns around and has a favorable year in '25 as well. And Broad Acres also did very well, about $100,000 of net profit overall, and that contributed to the pay down back to the general fund. I had a slide in here. The town does have $83.4 million of bonds outstanding. Those are payable. We are required to report those payable over the next 5 years and then in increments of 5 years. You can see all the way to the right, your debt service requirements in '25, '26, '27, roughly about $2 million. So from a budget standpoint, there's no swings in that, and that was really done very well as far as debt service payments over time. That's it. Again, the town is overall is in great financial health. Again, you have remained within a 2% tax cap, or what they call the tax levy limitation law, ever since it was enacted back in 2011. So we're approaching 15 years where you didn't have to exceed the cap. As Nick mentioned, you're part of a Certificate of Achievement in Financial Reporting program. You received that award over the past 18 years. As Nick said, not many municipalities are in this program. So again, your finance folks, led by Jeff Benzik, are doing a great job in keeping pace with that. And why is all that important to have such good fund balance? Obviously, it's going to help you during budget time when you're doing your next year's levy. You have a great bond rating, a AA2 bond rating. So when you do decide to go out and borrow again, you should get favorable interest rates. And it allows you to use that fund balance rather than borrowing, and you won't incur those debt service costs if you need to take that route. That's really it. We didn't really have any comments to be alarmed at. We did have a couple of comments. We reviewed those with management. Some of those have been addressed already. And at the bottom there are a few pronouncements that will impact the town going forward, and we will work with the town to make sure those are implemented. It's a lot of information in a short time frame.
I know, and who gave you the time limit? Somebody had a clock there going, I could tell. Allison had your time over there. Thank you. That was just enough information, we'll put it that way. And of course, we have to thank Jeff Benchik, who's over there as our finance director, who keeps those awards coming every year and keeps us in line. So thank you, Jeff. And thank you. Anybody have a question?
Quick question. The unassigned, I think you answered it, but the unassigned versus assigned, what is that?
What page?
Let's say, for instance, page 12, the 8.7 million assigned.
The assigned represents funds that have been earmarked for some given purpose in the near future.
Got it.
The unassigned means it's not earmarked.
Right, okay, got it.
It's available for use in future budgets.
Got it.
Just keep in mind that the amount of fund balance you have serves as working capital for you. You don't have to borrow short-term money
Yep.
until your property taxes come in. I know a few of you are businessmen, so you know what I mean by that. Working capital, you use those funds to avoid short-term borrowing.
Just my last question, with obviously interest rates a lot higher than they were 2 years ago, can we apply for, I know Jeff and I talked about this a while ago, for an upgrade with Moody's, right?
You could apply to get regraded. There are costs associated with it, but
But in the long run,
When you
it'll,
go out for a bond issue, speak with your controller, your finance director, and ordinarily, the rating agencies, when you invite them in, come up and they look at your finances on your balance sheet. They also look at the economic development that's happening in the town. They look at your ratables, they look at your demographics, and then obviously they assign a rating to your bonds that outside investors look upon when they make purchases of municipal bonds.
so is it worth applying for an upgrade, or, I don't know how the process works.
is it worth to go out?
I think it's always a good idea to invite the rating agencies to become familiar with your town.
Yeah, generally you do it when you do go out and borrow, so if there are
Got it.
plans.
I mean, I see that you have Robert Martin. I go back
We actually had them set up to come before you even were coming, so this was not a setup. Okay.
Good,
anybody else?
thank you.
Thank you.
That's a
Thank
very
you.
good report, and thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
I presume this goes, does this go on the website? Can people look for it if they want to? Okay, so there you go. Anybody who's interested is on our website, so feel free to read it. Okay, so we do have a short, we just workshop our agenda items, and we do have a fairly short agenda, so. Number 3 is accept a proposal for emergency stormwater drainage pipe repair on Pine Glen Drive in Blauvelt. This, I don't know if Jim's here, but basically this is something that needs to be done, somewhat of an emergency, so there's a $31,000 charge for that. Jim is here if anybody has any questions about it. Okay. And you see the word emergency in highway, and you're like, okay, it's good. Number 4 is appoint Deirdre Fitzgibbons to the position of police radio dispatcher, probationary, effective July 28th. Number 5 is award the mini bid Schultz Ford Lincoln police cars. We have 7 police cars. And this is again through the police asset forfeiture program. So that's the money he was talking about. We get money and it has to be used for law enforcement. So we're buying 7 new police cars. Approve the memorandum of understanding with the county and Rockland relating to the Rockland County Intelligence Center and Regional Investigative Resource Center. Is this, Rob, is this where the county's reimbursing us more than, is that it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. This is a good thing. The county has agreed to reimburse us. We put an officer up on a county program, and they used to only give us $30,000 or something. They've now agreed to cover the entire officer's salary. Right? Did I get that right?
Yes, for the one, for the task force, narcotics
Right,
task
the
force.
task force, right,
Yeah.
right. Something we didn't have before, so that's all good. We have number 7, approve a memorial bench by the rail trail in Blauvelt in loving memory of Joseph Escrivino, the world's best son, daddy, and husband. And as we all know, that was somewhat of a tragedy. A young Orangetown resident passed away suddenly, so that's a bench, and it's a great location. Number 5, approve the increase to all the town EV charging stations. So I think it's going from 0.25 cents to 0.35 cents per kilowatt hour. And then we have the audit. So we have a very nice agenda. So before we open the public comment, I just want to address a couple of things. I want to thank the Blue Hill people for coming. This has been a project that the town has been talking with the owners of Blue Hill about for several years now. There was another gentleman, Joe Cotter, that was interested in doing it. He kind of brought it to life, but suddenly passed away. And I was very upset because I thought the project was going to go away. I didn't know that there was going to be anybody else to come in with his enthusiasm about this project. So I was thrilled when I met you, and I heard the very professional reputation that you had. And so I think this is a great idea. I like the lifestyle apartments. It's something that it's all over the country. You'll find them. It would be new to Orangetown. I think a lot of younger people will be very excited about it. I think some of us older people will be excited about it too. You know, the other building does have a daycare center in it. It has a hair salon in it. It has a post office in it. So, I mean, it really is a lifestyle as opposed to just a place to live. So I personally, and the best part of it is we're not cutting down any trees. We're not worried about turtles. We're not worried about bats. We're not worried about anything that people sometimes get, rightfully so, sometimes get upset about. So that's just my two thoughts on it. So. And I just want to address the other issue that I know some people are here about today. I saw the social media post. We have a house, a resident in the town that has, over the last few years, I guess it started 2 or 3 years ago, started renting out their pool, which is illegal. It's an illegal activity. The town, going back 2 years ago, we charged them. It was quite a to-do. We changed our law. Everything's in place to enforce it. I was not aware of any complaints last year. I was told that there was at least one. It never rose to my level, so I didn't hear about any complaints about this house last year. But apparently, it's thought that they are at it again because complaints came in from the weekend of July 12th and 13th that they were having parties. It's important to know that when the police were called, the homeowners were there. The homeowners were there and said that this was a family gathering or friends or there was their own party. I know most of the residents don't believe it. I know I don't believe it, but, you know, it's only been 10 days since these parties, and the police are investigating, our code enforcement officer is investigating, we have the town attorney's office involved. But, we live in a world where you have to have evidence. You can't just say, look, I saw people, and they're saying that they were home and it was their family and friends. So there's an investigation, for lack of a better word, going on. It's only been 10 days. These things take longer than that. I think a good analysis is what's going up in Clarkstown with the illegal daycare. I see a lot of comments on Facebook, beating up people, but you have to do an investigation. You have to have proof, and that's how our system works, and that's a good thing, because you don't want the police showing up at your door because your neighbor accused you of doing something. So we're aware of it. We're as offended by it. I think it's crazy. If somebody gets hurt in this house, their insurance company is going to disclaim it. We're as frustrated by it as everybody else, but we just don't have a magic wand. It's a process. We're following the process. We will follow to the end, but we do have attorneys involved, and they will have to make the decision when it's adequate evidence to press charges, if it ever happens. So anyway, I just want to say that up front because, I see the comments on Facebook and it sounds like the town's not doing anything. Well, we are, and we're, again, just as frustrated by it as anybody else. My code enforcement officer is going onto that stupid Swimley website and having them taken down. People go on, you can rent out your pool. So, we'll have to see how it plays out. But I just wanted on the record that everyone up here is aware of it. Everybody up here is not happy about it, but we have to work within the confines of our system. So that's all I have to say about that. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we start?
Just quickly, on Blue Hill, I think this is a great idea and a great way to repurpose this building. I know it's been empty since the data center's left for quite a few years, and I'm happy to hear that it's high-end rentals. There is things on Facebook about low-income housing and this, that, and the other thing. This is far from that, and that's what we want in the town. So I think it's a good way to repurpose the building, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about the project as you guys move forward. And Hobbs, we did rewrite the law, and the law is pretty well written. We just need the proof to go after it. Part of that is every time something happens, every single neighbor has to call. Not just one neighbor and say, there's already a police officer here, it's taken care of. We have to build a record, right? That's we live in America. You're innocent until proven guilty, and the only way we can prove guilty is through evidence, and part of that evidence is everybody calling in and staying on top of it. I agree. If it was in my neighborhood, I would not be a happy camper, and I would be calling every time I thought there was a party going on. So, okay.
Anybody?
Just one quick thing.
Yeah.
On the Blue Hill situation, this is just a presentation to kind of let the board and the public know what's going on.
Is the board have
If the
questions?
board, or if they're inclined to move forward, it would involve a petition to this board to change a zone and then a site plan
public
application. So there are
hearings
plenty more hearings to come if this were to go further. I just
Yeah,
wanted.
it's a long process, and no one's mind is made up. I just think it's a great concept.
Right. It's not on for approval tonight, is the
Right.
Okay. Okay, on that note, can I get a motion to open the public portion?
I make a motion to open the public comment.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll go to the list first. The first person signed up is Diana Reynolds. I'll just remind everybody that we have a 3-minute time. I think you should be able to see the clock, but yeah, there's 3 minutes per speaker.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. See that one over there. First, I just want to say thank you. It's nice to hear that there is action being done for Hobbs because we need everybody's help right now. It's a little ridiculous. So I'm going to go into my speech here and explain why for those of you who don't know what's going on here. First, I just want to let you know my name is Diana Reynolds. I'm formerly Perez. I grew up here in Blauvelt on Swanigan Road. I graduated from TZ in 2006. After living out of state 13 years, my husband Mitch and my 3 kids, Maya, Jack, and Aria, moved back last summer to a house near Cottage Lane. I'm here tonight with many of my neighbors to discuss the town's party house. This house in our community has been renting out their pool and home to the public, which obviously is not allowed under our zoning laws. It's turned into a big problem for our neighborhood for the past 3 years. 3 years. I've only been here 1, and this has been going on for 3 years. Guests come in from New York City. They show up barely dressed, park all over the streets, and openly smoke marijuana late into the night. The smell is so strong we can't let our kids play outside. The music is so loud and explicit we get stuck inside because we're trying to avoid it. 2 weekends ago, there were 2 parties, back to back, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday night, people arrived dragging roller bags and overnight luggage. That party went till 6 a.m. One of the neighbors had to relocate his ill wife from her own home to a different room in the house because it was so bad. The next morning, our streets were a mess. Trash everywhere, empty bottles, erectile dysfunction meds, and yes, a pair of men's underwear still sits on our street, on their front yard, today, 10 days later. Sunday, a 50-passenger party bus pulled up in front of my house while our kids were outside. People got off the bus, again barely dressed, and started hollering at our kids and giving them the middle finger. In what world is this okay? On their front yards. Sorry. Later that night, I tucked my daughter Maya in. She's 9 years old, and she nervously asked me, "Can bullet holes go through houses?" She said, "Our bedrooms are in the front of the house, and what if something happens and the party goes wrong and we don't know what weapons they're bringing in? And if somebody gets hurt?" Not something you want to hear from your 9-year-old. We've had cars drive across lawns, hit parked cars, and even people urinating on our houses. We now have video evidence of guests admitting that they rented both the party, the pool, and the home, but still nothing has been done. We have a recording of visitors saying that they rented from the homeowners, they rented the pool. I just want to know what we're waiting for here. I know that nothing can be done overnight, but are we waiting for a child to get hurt? There was a house in Stony Point this happened to a couple years ago, and the only thing that stopped it was rape charges. So tonight, we're asking the board to step in and enforce the rules, penalize them for their offenses, put a stop to this activity. Since the law in 2023 was amended, no enforcement has been, it's been non-existent. Our police are trying to help. They're showing up. They're trying to protect us. They're showing up when there's parties. They're coming down our blocks. They're trying to help, but their hands are tied. It might not be your block today, but it could become your problem tomorrow. People know that this can go on for 3 years now. Who's going to say that they're not going to show up on your neighbor's house when they go to sell it next year? All I'm asking is please help. Please don't let a child get hurt. And thank you for your help with this issue.
Lauren Taylor?
Good evening, Supervisor Kenny and the rest of the Town of Orangetown Board. My name is Lauren Taylor, and I live on 15 Shorn Drive in Blauvelt, basically 2 houses down from Hobbs Drive. Well, it has been 2 years since I was last here speaking of the same topic of our friends at 4 Hobbs, as they are back to the same antics of renting the house out for pool parties. There were 2 pool parties, one on July 12th and one on July 13th. The party on July 12th led to cars parked all along Hobbs as well as Shorn Drive. The owner of Hobbs must have told her patrons to not park on both sides of Hobbs, probably to avoid the police getting called, leading them to spill over onto Shorn Drive. There were people getting out of their cars with suitcases, rolling down Shorn Drive onto Hobbs. The next morning, there was an empty bottle of Don Julio on my corner under some trees. Having been away on a work trip after this party happened, I did not see this bottle until last Saturday. That means that there was trash left from the party for over a week. Who is responsible for cleaning up this trash? Myself, because it's on my property? What are the ramifications of throwing a party and trashing the neighborhood and not cleaning it up? I don't know what diseases were on that bottle, and yet my husband had to clean the trash up. As I have previously requested 2 years ago, at the very minimum, I would like to request that DWI checkpoints be set up at multiple locations between Hobbs and Shorn Drive whenever OPD is notified that a party is happening. Should we be calling the Rockland County Sheriff's Department as well? We have many children that live in our neighborhood who are always outside playing with each other. I do not think that town of Orangetown wants to hear about a child getting hit by a drunk driver because of these parties. We're looking to the town for assistance to bring back our family-friendly neighborhood. Thank you for your time on this matter.
Stacy Ma.
Stacy Ma, 15 South Pascack Road. 3 years ago, I did bring to your attention about getting letters in my mailbox about somebody wanting to rent my pool. I'm getting them again. They're ignoring the do not knock. But yesterday, there was a big party on Boger in the cul-de-sac. OPD responded, and so did every fire truck because there was smoke coming out of the house. They responded beautifully. They cleared everybody out, and they were gone. But we too are having people come into the cul-de-sac with backpacks and going into the house, and now the parties are during the week. This just started within the last couple of days. They weren't over the weekend. They weren't over 4th of July. But this house in Boger has been a problem.
They have a pool too?
I don't know if they have a pool, but they put a note in my mailbox that they wanted to use my pool.
No.
So that was a no. But thank you for the quick response from everybody and making sure they were all gone.
Okay, that's the last person that signed up. Is there anybody that would want to speak? Just raise your hand. We'll get to everybody, so. And just if you don't mind saying your name for the record.
Hi, Noreen Gernon, Pearl River. I actually have a question about work that was done on John Street and on Martin. A utility company came and dug up the front yards, which I know they're entitled to do with the 10 feet and pipes, but they were not home, the people where the work was done. So there was a problem with the work. There was no water pressure after that. So when we called, they said, no, it wasn't us. And no one knew who it was because we weren't home. So I had to investigate and get somebody's Ring camera and the footage for them to finally admit it was a subcontractor for Veolia. And it was Frederick Kramer. And the guy, you could see him in the Ring camera saying, I'm here on behalf of Veolia. So then when we finally got Veolia to admit that work was done, they came out and did nothing, but then got the subcontractor to come back, and they said, well, now we're here to fix Veolia's mistake. I said, I beg to differ with you. I said, you're on Ring camera. It's your company that did this work. So needless to say, 4 visits, it's still not fixed. But it's just, I don't understand how a utility company, even though they're allowed to dig, never called, no letter in the mail, nothing on the door to be able to say, we worked at your house today. If I didn't go down the block and figure out like the whole Ring camera thing, we wouldn't know. And I don't know if there was something that could be done about that. I actually spoke to the highway department because Veolia, before they admitted it was them, said, oh, you got it. It's probably the town of Orangetown. The town of Orangetown did it. Or maybe it was Orange and Rockland. Maybe it was Verizon. They named every company possible. So, and they said, you should go to the town and see if somebody pulled a permit to dig. So I did call, and they said, not here, but they said, try the highway department. And the woman in the highway department was lovely, and she said, yes, and she told me the name of the company, but at this point, I knew it was them. But is there anything that could be done that, again, if you're not home, and you don't have a Ring camera, and you don't know that they should leave, some kind of a message like, we dug up your lawn today.
Right.
Just putting it out there.
Thank you. Okay, so a hand over here. I'm sorry, could you just, Sharon Siegel. Listen, I don't know that calling if the cops are already there is because of reported.
It's bothering the police. I mean, it is their job to respond to calls, so I would call.
It's just adding to the record. That's all it's doing.
It almost seems like we're harassing them. They're already doing what they're supposed
You can say, I know the police are already here, I just want my name on the record as a neighbor who sees a problem going on. Don't call 911, you can call the local, okay?
That's what we need. Okay, anybody else want to speak that hasn't had a chance to speak? You raise it.
Good evening, my name is Brian White. I live at 6 Hobbs. I've lived there 5 years. Last 3 years, we've been dealing with this party and everything else. I'm retired at NYP for 20 years. I'm also a veteran. I had a medical issue the evening of the 12th. I just came back from the hospital, and I know the rules with the noise complaints and everything is 11 o'clock is after 11 o'clock, they're supposed to cut it down or whatever. I gave them a buffer of about till 2 in the morning, and that's when I called the police. They came, they sat there for 3 or 4 hours, whatever, but they turned down. Somehow they know that they're coming. They turned down the music. They didn't hear it. They said they used the decibel meter. They didn't hear it, whatever it is. This is constantly happening, as you can hear from everybody else that lives in the neighborhood. Maybe I didn't hear yourself correctly. Retired. I sit home all day. I got Ring cameras. I got all the evidence you need. Thank you for your time.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak? I'm just asking if anybody else wants to speak. No? Okay. Yes.
I make a motion, we close the public portion?
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. With that, we will move on to our agenda items. Okay, can I get a motion to accept the proposal for the emergency stormwater drainage pipe repair on Pine Glen Drive in Blauvelt? Motion?
Motion accept.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to appoint Deirdre Fitzgibbons?
Teresa, 1 second.
Oh, oh, okay. Okay, did we pass it, or we're about to do it? Okay, so can I get a motion, we didn't do it, right? I was just about to do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, did I do it? Okay, can I get a motion to appoint Deirdre Fitzgibbons to the position of police radio dispatcher, probationary, effective July 28, 2025?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Are you rethinking it after hearing about everyone, Liz telling everyone to call the cops? She's like, what? What is that all for?
And Supervisor, I just want to mention quickly, Ms. Fitzgibbons comes from the Rockland County Sheriff's Department, dispatcher up there, so she's trained at this point. She has a master's degree, so we're really getting an exceptional candidate here to be hired on next Monday. Thank
Okay.
you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, can I get a motion to award the mini bid for the Schultz Ford Lincoln 7 police vehicle interceptors? Sounds so fancy. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with the County of Rockland relating to the Rockland County Intelligence Center and Regional Investigative Resource Center? Is that what it's really called?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are you good now, Jerry? Are you good? Okay, good.
Thank you, though. I feel relaxed.
You feel good now, right? Right, okay. Number 7, can I get a motion to approve a memorial bench by the rail trail in Blauvelt in memory of Joseph Gravino?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Second.
second. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was, did you get that? Was Brian that seconded it? Yeah, okay. He said it so low, I didn't know if you heard. Can I get a motion to approve the price increase for all the town-owned electric vehicle charging stations?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, the audit for tonight's meeting consists of 3 warrants for $2.3 million. Items of interest, number 1, Rockland Paramedics, $132,000 for July paramedic services. Number 2, Department of Civil Service, $1 million for healthcare benefits. Number 3, Troon Golf, $198,000 for the golf course maintenance contracts. Number 1 again, Charles Capasso, $111,000 for recycling. Number 11, PKF O'Connor Davies, $26,000 for the audit. And number 16, Turco Golf, $130,000 for the Blue Hill Bunker project, which is bonded money. Any questions on the audit?
No? Can I get a motion to accept the audit?
I make a motion to accept the audit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we do have to go into executive session?
Land issue or?
Yeah, land use that may affect the value.
Right.
Okay, we do have,
And
we do have a couple of.
personnel.
And personnel.
There's
Oh, yeah, personnel, actually, I forgot. So we do have unfortunately, we have some adjournments. We have Elizabeth Sivan Flynn, I always know her as Flynn, a resident Pearl River, Michael Halpin, a resident Pearl River, and Billy Munch, an Orangetown resident. So we are not going to come out and vote on anything. So can I get a motion to, go ahead, Paul, you got it good, you have it down.
I make a motion that we go into executive session, coming out and closing the regular town board meeting, as no further votes will be cast.
Second.
I read them. Oh, you meant something else? Oh, yeah.
All in favor?
Oh, aye.
Aye.
I just got a text.